Today we are asking if you are clean, dirty, or lazy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Keto, where we aim to help you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle.
Today we are talking about clean, dirty, and lazy keto.
Hey, before we go too much further, we would really love to have your input on something. We would like to know from you, what was your biggest challenge when starting a keto or low carb way of eating? As we're aiming to help everyone live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle, we'd love to hear your stories and what you've overcome and what you had to go through to get there. Alright, so let's get into today's video. Like they said, we are talking about clean, dirty, and lazy keto and why you may or may not want to try these different versions of keto. So I guess we'll start with just a quick recap on what keto is. Now we are looking at our macros when we're doing keto, and we're aiming for 70-75% of our calories coming from fat, 20 to 25 coming from protein, and the last 5% from carbs.
Yeah.
And we're just looking at 20 grams net carbs a day. And the aim of it is to get your body running off fats rather than the carbs and glucose and sugar that are in your food.
So let's break it down. First of all, we are going to start with discussing clean keto. So clean keto really has a big focus on whole foods.
Yep. Also,
the focus is also on making sure that your carbs are staying at 20 grams or lower for the day. And also on clean keto, you're fairly strict on tracking your macros as well.
Yeah, and we've talked about tracking through your apps, whether it's MyFitnessPal or Carb Manager or another app that you might be choosing to use.
In terms of tracking your macros, obviously we're talking about this being under clean, and this is something that you would do, I guess, on an ongoing basis, but we would definitely recommend, if you are starting keto, definitely tracking everything because you are still learning. But then on an ongoing basis, if you're just really wanting to keep focus on what your macros are, but also what nutrients you're taking in, that is where tracking is really, really helpful.
And in the clean, you are looking at your 3 different macros. You're definitely tracking your carbs, but you're also being mindful of getting enough fat and proteins in your diet.
Another element to the clean / strict keto, there are some people who will choose not to have any sweeteners. So that's an element, I guess there's a lot of talk around, if you're keeping the sweetness in your diet, you're still keeping those sweet cravings alive, I guess. So those who are really strict and clean really do look at eliminating that, but then everyone's different as well. So, but that is an element of doing a really clean and strict keto.
And then there are a number of health benefits to eating clean keto, and losing weight is definitely one of them. Can you lose weight on clean keto? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then obviously with that, as you're eating lots of whole foods and loads of vegetables and leafy greens, you're getting your vitamins as well.
All right, so now if we go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we're looking at dirty keto. Now, dirty keto, you're still probably going to be tracking your macros. You're still aiming at 20 grams of net carbs per day, but other than that, you really don't mind what you eat as long as it fits in your macros.
Yeah, that's right. So there'll be people who will choose to eat I guess some foods that may have things like maltodextrin or dextrose, or there are certain artificial sweeteners that some would say aren't necessarily the best for you, but they'll still choose to have it because it fits the macros.
Or stuff with oils that there might be oils that some people don't like to eat. There are oils that we don't like to eat. But again, as long as it fits your macros, that's what dirty keto works on.
The main problem with dirty keto is that you could be missing out on some vital nutrition, especially if you're not opting so much for the whole foods and you're just going for food that fit your macros. So that could be probably one of the major drawbacks, that you're going to be missing on, I guess, some of the best nutrition that you could be getting.
Yeah, but you can still lose weight on dirty keto. You're still watching your carbs, you're still watching your macros, you can still lose weight doing it.
Absolutely. Even though you can lose weight doing dirty keto, it just may not necessarily the most ideal, but really at the end of the day, it comes down to what your own personal health goals are.
So somewhere between dirty and clean, you've got lazy keto. And you're probably still looking at around that 20 gram net carbs a day. You're probably still eating the healthier, the cleaner foods, but you're probably not so concerned about tracking the protein and fats. Really, you're just looking at reducing the carbs. You could even call it just a low carb diet, really.
And you can lose weight through lazy keto as well. Absolutely can. But again, it comes down to your own health goals. So when we started keto, at the very beginning of our journey, we were actually really quite strict on being clean and tracking everything. And also, like, if we saw that we hadn't met a certain ratio, we'd actually go out of our way to make sure our ratios were actually spot on.
And it's probably a really good place to start. I mean, we did make mistakes and we adjusted along the way, but tracking the food, it actually helps you learn what the foods are that are going to be good for you, what your macros look like in terms of, I need to eat this much to have this much protein, I need to eat this much, or if I eat too much of this, I'm likely to have too many carbs. Nuts was a big one for us.
That was
learning how much carbs are in nuts because they're so easy to eat.
And even fat, it can actually, if you eat too many nuts, you really just blow out the fat, and you really don't want to do that either. But I think for us now, we've been doing this for 2 years. Is it 2 years? Yes. So we've been doing our keto way of living for 2 years now, and we have learned, we went through that stage of, like I said, really strictly monitoring and tracking everything that we ate. Now we've sort of gone a little bit more lax on that. But we still very much aim to eat really good whole food. We aim to make sure that we are getting the nutrients that we know our body needs, and we're constantly learning and bringing that in, but we kind of know how, what's too much or what's not enough. So I think that's something that you just learn over time.
Now, I did switch to sort of a lazy version of keto earlier in the year. Like Lee said, I was still eating clean, I was still eating fairly good, but what I worked out was that I was eating too much, and the way I worked that out was the scale. Started putting on a little bit of weight, but I've switched back to tracking, and then I could sort of realign what I was eating with my goals, and then I've been able to continue on from there, losing a bit of weight again now, getting back on the straight and narrow. But it's one of those things where we aim to eat clean, but there are even times when we just can't. Like if we're traveling, there might be a time when we switch between the clean, the dirty, the lazy.
So when have we done dirty keto? That is usually when we are traveling, when we're away from home or doing a road trip or just away, and there's very, very limited options. So we'll still look for the best option possible, but we also know and understand that sometimes it's just going to happen.
And for us, we'd say that it's better to go into dirty or lazy keto rather than just going full carb and then possibly have to go through keto flu again. If we can maintain just dirty keto for a little bit of time and then get clean again as soon as we've got the option to.
So an example of that might be like, if there's really very, very limited options and they're only fast food like in McDonald's or etc. around, we might get a burger. We'll get rid of the bun. So we'll still avoid the breads and rices and pastas, things like that.
But we know there's probably like dextrose and maltodextrin in the meat and that sort of thing. So it's not ideal, but it's just going to get us through for that bit.
That's right. Or even at a restaurant. Again, it's there are options. It depends on the restaurant that you're at. But in a general sense, if you can get a steak with salad or vegetables, you're fairly safe there. The only thing that you'd need to look out for are the sauces. You don't know what's in there, but again, you go into a restaurant, I guess having that awareness. If you're really particular, you can ask for no sauce, or you can just ask your waiter what the ingredients are as well.
Or even have a look at the menu before you go. So many places now, they've got their menu online. So you can go in already having had a look at that and know what you're going to order.
Why do we aim to eat clean? First and foremost, it is about getting the nutrition that our body needs. We want to make sure that we're keeping our bodies healthy as possible, that we're keeping our immune system strong, that we're giving our body the tools it needs to be healthy. And that is our first and foremost goal. But alongside that, we also know that weight loss is a byproduct of being healthy as well. So even though we want to make sure that we're maintaining a healthy weight or staying in the healthy weight range, nutrition by far is first and foremost the most important thing.
Yeah, get healthy to lose weight, not lose weight to get healthy.
That's right.
So yeah, you can lose weight eating dirty keto. We've already said that a couple of times, but you are going to be missing out on nutrients. You're probably going to be more prone to cramping and other sort of health issues. You might need to take more supplements, vitamins, minerals, salts, that sort of thing. So ideally you'd want to be trying to aim for clean.
So it's good just to have an understanding of what works for you, what's your health goals, keep learning, know how your own body reacts to foods, know what foods tend to make you put on weight or make you feel sluggish or bloat or anything like that, but also know foods that give you energy and make you feel leaner and in the end of the day lose weight.
So I guess that's really it. Know your boundaries, know your health goals, know what you're doing. We're all on a health journey. We're all trying to do better. We're all trying to eat better. We're all trying to get better.
Yeah, but the key thing is in amongst all of this is just to be consistent.
Yeah. So I hope that's been helpful, guys. Again, just to go back to where we were at the beginning, we'd really love to hear from you down in the comments below about some of the challenges that you've overcome when you've started your keto and low carb journey. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you think it could be useful to somebody, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, there's always the subscribe button for you to click just down there and have a look at some of our other videos. And we've got some great recipes that you can have a look at that might help you on your journey as well. So other than that, thanks guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.